making sure this is all good. Camera 1's rolling, camera 2 and 3, but they're not on. But no, we're back in studio today, back in the Mackin Show studio. No, I'm kidding. It's not just for the Mackin Show studio. It's a studio that I'm grateful that the people let me use this studio. But no, we're back. It's a beautiful Saturday. Just got done with a little lunch, dropped Em off for a hair appointment. Figured, let's go bang out another podcast, you know what I'm saying? But no, we're here just making sure everything's right. But without further ado, welcome back to episode 38 of the Mackin Show, your favorite place for bullshit, updates, fun conversations with your host, me, Casey Walsh. No, it's been fun. It's been a good week so far. Like I said last episode, it's still been so crazy for work. A lot of stuff's dropping. Just made my interview tutorial debut in a way. I was for one of our updated videos for like updating the brand and everything. I played as a fake TMZ reporter, and that was pretty fun because unlike the creepiness of the Hollywood Fix guy and annoyingness of TMZ people, I just had to run up to somebody like, hey, the people want to know. People want to know, like, what's up? And without like how the Hollywood Fix guy holds his camera like, hey, hi, how we doing? You know, like, what's up? So that was really fun. And a lot of cool stuff coming out for Be Happy Snacks very, very soon. Make sure to stay tuned. Some good ass tasting popcorn. But no, other than that, it's really just been a lot of work stuff. Last night I was hyped because this podcast knows I've been a big Caitlin Clark guy. Just in general, the draft, like obviously Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, but big Caitlin Clark guy. And last night I got to go watch Caitlin Clark play Cameron Brink with the Indiana Fever, Los Angeles Sparks at Crypto.com Arena. And let me tell you, it was so sick. It was so cool. Now, don't get me wrong. It wasn't what we saw in March Madness for women's basketball where there was like 40-point games and ridiculous, because she's a rookie. She's still getting her feet on the ground in WNBA, and it was great. Like, she was doing, like, one thing that I noticed about Caitlin Clark that maybe it just got better, I didn't notice it beforehand. Her passing is ridiculous. Like, she is such a good passer on top of her already amazing game. Like, she was making certain full court passes, cut passes. Like, it was insane. And her team, if every pass she made was a finished bucket, she probably would have ended that game with 20 assists, maybe. But that's not really, it's not what happened. There was obviously some contested shots and shit like that. I know it gets hard. But no, she was dope. Cameron Brink played great. It was really cool to see her. She's tall as fuck. I did not think she was as tall. Like, when you see someone super tall in person, you're like, oh shit. But no, seeing Caitlin Clark play was so sick. She had a good game, in my opinion. Like, she had a double-double. Like, she was out there basically running the court. And again, I've never seen a crowd this infatuated with a person since, like, LeBron. Like, to be very, very honest. Like, don't get me wrong. When certain players, like, when Zion came in the league, it was awesome. Like, once Giannis really got crazy. But, like, and, you know, in other sports, obviously, like, you know, football, you have your, like, Mahomes. But, like, when they entered the league, there wasn't any of that at the moment. Maybe Bronny, who knows? But I've never in my life seen a crowd react to the way watching Caitlin Clark. From the second they were doing intros and getting their name called out, literally an entire, like, there was like 19,000 fans at Crypto.com Arena for a WNBA game and was going berserk for Caitlin Clark. Like, and it was one of those things, it was funny. She didn't have the best three-point shooting night, but every time she pulled up, the second the ball left her hands, everybody in the entire arena was on their feet just waiting for that moment. And she did have one late in the game, clutch buckets, but no, it was absurd. Like, I've never seen it. The game ended and we were probably like 10 rows up. So we got to like right at half court. So we got to like see it very well that Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher were there with their kids. Caitlin Clark, obviously after shaking the team's hands, everything, goes over to them. And Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher are the fans of this moment. Like they're introducing their kids to Caitlin Clark. Their daughter cried after meeting Caitlin Clark. Like shit was crazy. Like it was wild to see. And then after all of that, Caitlin finally leaves the court to go into her locker room, get whatever. And there was probably still half the stadium there. Mind you, the game was over 20 minutes ago. There was still half the stadium there. As she's walking off the court, quite literally, a fucking standing ovation. It was insane. It really, really was crazy to me. And to see the stars out to watch. Don't get me wrong. People have, like, there's been stars at WNBA games before. But, like, people, I saw Jason Sudeikis, DeMar DeRozan, Klay Thompson, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, Aubrey Plaza. Steph's parents were there, obviously, because of Cameron Brink. And it was a spectacle. It was absurd. It was so sick. I definitely never thought I'd say these words. I cannot wait to go to more WNBA games because let me tell you one thing about, at least from the one game I've been to, about the WNBA too. These girls get scrappy. Not that I didn't think they did, but just like watching them play the game, I was like, I bet. Like, heard you. You guys are really getting into it with each other. Like, just scrappy, getting pissed off, like really playing hard basketball. And I was like, bet. Like, this is the type of shit I came here to see. Now, they were guarding Caitlin crazy, but even like they were guarding Cameron Brink crazy. They were hacking. It was wild. It was such a cool game. To see Crypto.com Arena, fuck calling it that, to see Staples Center packed out to the brim like that to watch these girls play was fucking crazy. It was insane. So we got to do that last night. That was everything I hoped it would be. Again, I obviously would have wished that we had an Iowa Caitlin Clark game where she dropped 45 with 12 made threes and all this. But that, trust me, that time's coming. That time is coming. She is so good. Like, Caitlin Clark is so good for the WNBA. The second she made a comment about charter flights, quite literally, it was almost like a snapping finger effect that like 2 days later, the WNBA has charter flights. Their ticket sales have grown like 400%. Their like packed out arenas have grown crazy. The viewership has grown crazy. Like, deals have gotten bigger. Like, it's insane what this girl is doing for the sport of women's basketball. Fucking insane. And you still got your haters. Now, I will say, I get a lot of people being like, just soft as baby shit out here. Like, no, like, you can't hate. Stop. Like, it's going to happen. Like, if you are a generational talent, that's how you know it's the WNBA is going good, in good hands, that they got these haters. Because I'm all for, like, no, like, y'all really need to, like, lift up and, like, you know, this girl's changing the entire face of the game. But, you know, if you want that sport to be taken as seriously as all the other sports, bro, you're going to have haters. Like, LeBron had the team that he was going to enter. There was Cavaliers players before LeBron officially got to the NBA being like, the fuck, we don't need this dude. His teammates were saying that. Like, insane. So, do I think that you got your haters out there that are just like, I don't get the current WNBA players hating as much because, like, she's literally bettering your league an insane amount. Like, the fact that you are hating makes absolutely zero sense. Like, she's helping you guys out insanely. So, like, people that are also on the floor hating, crazy, but it's just insane to me, like, how she's doing. And she's giving me off, like, Caitlin Clark is giving me, like, star vibes, where she ain't on social media. She don't care about that. She looks bored in all of her interviews. She's just like, I'm just trying to play ball. Like, she's her. Caitlin Clark is her. So that was sick. Getting to be able to watch Cameron Brink ball out was awesome. I also want to go to a Chicago Sky game because I need to see Angel Reese ball out too. And one thing that I find so funny after the rise of this class of the WNBA is Twitter. Like, so one of the things that went viral on Twitter was once WNBA players start having side pieces, and there were just all these tweets from like gifs from movies or quotes or whatever it may be, being like, me waiting in Angel Reese's hotel room after the game, me courtside watching Angel play, me, with camera, whatever it may be. And Asia Wilson like had fun with it. It was so funny because like, again, like people know that like NBA players definitely have side pieces and all this type of shit. So it was funny to be like, just to see like men becoming the side piece in that equation, and it probably will happen at some point, but it was just so funny. Or because again, a lot of these women are taller people, where there's like a ton of memes of people going like this, like help me up, and it was just like about Cameron Brink, where it's just like me when I see Cameron after the game, it's just like help me up. It's just because she's like 6'7". It's just so funny to see like guys basically taking that backseat role, being just like, I'll be a house husband. I'll be stay at home. I'll be the side piece. I don't care. Because, like, the WNBA right now is pretty as shit and tall as fuck. So it's just like you're switching the roles now from, like, an NBA player's side piece to a WNBA groupie. Like, it's fire. Like, from a fan perspective, I'll be a WNBA groupie. Like, it was sick. So I definitely think what's happening with the WNBA is fucking awesome. I'm hoping it continues that trajectory, which I think it will, because when you have Paige Beckers, Juju Watkins, and other people coming up, at least like that are currently in college, once they go, it's going to be crazy. But then you're going to have fucking like NBA players' daughters. Like Shaq's daughter right now, supposedly, I mean, she's only, like there was clips on Twitter of him reacting to her playing, and I don't think she's in college yet, but just like good as fuck. Like there's going to be those players that, you're going to have your Kean Anthony's, Bronny James, Scottie Pippen's kid. Like there's going to be these former athletes, or I guess in LeBron's case, current athletes, kids that are going to do fucking damage too. So I'm hype. I'm here. Lift me. Like, I get it 100%. What was I going to say? Oh, and then going off from the WNBA to the NBA, the NBA playoffs are crazy right now. First off, I have to live with the fact that after this year, there will be no more NBA on TNT. There will be no more Kenny Smith, Ernie Johnson, Charles Barkley, or Shaquille O'Neal. That hurts. I looked forward to seeing those dudes just talk some dumb shit other than Ernie after games. Charles Barkley is a national treasure. Shaq is that younger brother who just shits on Charles the entire time. And then Ernie's the dude who has to keep it all together. Like, the NBA took that away from us. Or TNT. I don't know exactly who. But somebody took NBA on TNT away from us. I want answers. I'm upset about it. And it's not right. It's not right. Those four should be absolutely cherished 100%, and they should quite literally cover NBA games until they die, or at least until I die. Like, it's sad to know that after this season, it will be no more. So I don't know. And I mean, it's not like anything can be done now because like the deals are already done. So it's not like, there can be some petition or whatever. It's going to be what it's going to be, but that's sad. And then into the NBA, we obviously got the Mavs at the Timberwolves and the Pacers at the Celtics. Celtics are going to the final. There's nothing about that will change that. Pacers might get one win in, but like Halliburton is out another game. Celtics are going to the finals. I don't want the Celtics to go to the finals. If the Pacers were in the finals, it'd kind of be a little boring, but so at least we'll have Celtics versus somebody else. But yeah, that's it for the East, and just kind of boring. The Eastern Conference is kind of boring if it's not the Knicks or like, I don't know, Miami maybe. I don't know. Eastern Conference is kind of boring to me. But no, Celtics are going to go. Jason Tatum, I got you, bro, is, going to be in there being all corny and shit. Fucking wow, I cannot believe I'm forgetting his name. Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown is going to sit there not being able to dribble with his left hand. Kristaps will probably come back. But getting a Kristaps versus Luka, a little foreign finals, will be pretty fire. But what is the better watch for sure is Mavs versus Timberwolves. And Mavs are up 2-0 right now. Kyrie is killing. Luka's a psychopath. That series is great because Luka Doncic is actually an on-the-court psychopath, and it's awesome. Like, you want an on-the-court psychopath. Like, he's so chill, off the court, whatnot, but he hits a step-back jumper in your face during crunch time. He is saying, motherfucker, go home, and some Slovenian slurs for sure, which is awesome. Like, I never didn't love them, but just, like, I love foreign NBA players so much because they're just so great for the game, from Giannis to Jokic to Luka, Wemby, like, and obviously the older ones from like Dirk, Tony Parker, like Manu Ginobili, like foreign NBA players are fucking awesome. And so obviously on this podcast beforehand, I've been a big Luka guy, a big Ant guy. Big Ant guy. I love the Timberwolves. I'm just a huge Anthony Edwards fan. And these last 2-3 games, he has not been playing all that great, like, at all. Not some, like, oh, he still finished with, 40 points, but he had a terrible shooting night with turnovers. No, he's not scoring a lot. He's not really like, adding a shit ton to it. Like, you have your Jaden McDaniels, Cat, and Rudy, and then Mike Conley, etc. But Ant's kind of been, like, missing in a way. Now, everyone's already starting that, like, we're comparing him to Jordan and Kobe, like, and it just shows you how fast the media will switch on you within literally a 48-hour time span. But I still think Ant's the one. He's obviously had some off games. I'm hoping he can find a way to turn it back on. He was obviously in his post-game interview where he wasn't too worried about it. But they got to go back to Dallas. Luka's a psychopath. Now, it's kind of going both ways for me now, where I still want, like, Anthony Edwards to get his first ring. Timberwolves in the finals would be dope. But a Mavericks-Celtics final would kind of be super fire, because Luka and Kyrie would be great. Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, etc. But then you'd also have that Kyrie going back to Boston. Now, Boston fucking hates Kyrie Irving. They hate him. Like, they do not like him. So there will be generational shit talk slurs going at Kyrie from Boston. And everyone already expects it. They know it's going to happen if the Mavs do make the finals. But it's just going to be insane because they truthfully, as a fan base, hate Kyrie Irving. So that will be very interesting to see. But Kyrie obviously showed that, like, he truthfully is 32 years old. Like, he's got time. He's going to continue to kill. He's a leader, and he's nice as fuck at basketball. Like, I get it, the whole debacle that was happening the entire time he was in New York, obviously, like, put a damper on, like, him for the time being. But, like, I don't know how people forgot that, like, this dude's a fucking baller. Like, he's extremely nice at basketball. So we'll have to wait and see. I do think if it goes the rate it goes, we are going to have a Mavericks-Celtics final. And then if that's the case, I desperately want Luka to get his first ring, because Luka's awesome. How could you not like Luka Doncic? Like, he also just wants to leave basketball and go smoke hookah, sort of like how Jokic wants to leave and go with his horses. Those foreign boys, those European boys are just the same. So I think that's going to be sick. I'm excited to see, like, how, those matchups go. So there's that. But speaking of Europe and a matchup that I guess no one saw coming on their 2024. 2024 has been crazy. I'll dive into that later. But there was a video that came out on Twitter the other day in Cannes of Travis Scott and Entourage getting in a fight with Tyga's Entourage. And it was so weird where, like, because Tyga wasn't in any of the videos, but it was his friend AE, who's Cher's boyfriend. Like, these sentences are fucked. Like, just the words that are coming out of my mouth are just like, what? But I guess they were both at an event. Travis Scott got shouted out in the same line as Tyga. Travis Scott didn't like that. Supposedly took the Mike from the promoter that did it. And then Tyga's boys came up and were like, yo, blah, blah, blah. Southside, the producer, came up with Trav and was like, huh. Southside, I got into it with another guy. Trav came in to stop that. And then Trav got bull rushed. Now, one thing that really pisses me off, anytime there is a celebrity interaction of like a fight of some sorts or just like a physical altercation, it seems like iPhones are programmed to go back to like the iPhone 7, because how is the video quality so fucking terrible every single time? I've taken a ton of videos at night. They all look extremely clear. Why are people not putting on their flashes when they are taking a video of them fighting? It's not, when that's going on, no one's going to stop the fight and be like, yo, put the phone away, then go back to fighting. Like, I don't understand why fight videos always have the worst quality ever. I don't know if that's just a universe thing. Like, that will never change. The universe just has it instilled in them that, if you're taking, the iPhone just knows. If there's a physical altercation going on, we're going to make sure this is the worst quality video of all time. Like, it's just dog shit. But no, so I didn't have Tyga and Travis fighting on my 2024 bingo card. Everyone's like, oh, it's over Kylie. It's obviously not over Kylie. It's over, well, I'm sure that's a base root of it, but I'm sure it's over just egos for sure. But I'm a big LaFlame guy. So, like, if I got to step in, talk to Tyga's team, just let me know. I'll be there. I'll be a mediator between Travis and Tyga. But that was just, like, so fucking dumb. But it was really funny. Like, it was just funny to see where it's like, you guys are, like, in your 30s and, like, you're fighting at a event for what? So, but I'm hoping Trav really put in work because I thought that was funny. But one other thing that, on the funny note, that I was really excited for is Shane Gillis' Netflix show Tires finally dropped on Netflix. 6 episodes. It's all about just a group of white trash people working at an auto body shop that does oil changes and tires and shit. And it was great. Now, did I think it was... It's tough to think about it because did I think it was like as funny as his stand-up? It's a TV show, so it won't be the same. I do think it was a very, very good show. I thought it was super funny. They were all themselves in it, just like they were from Gillian Keeves skits on YouTube. And it was like I don't know if feel good's the right word, but it was of dudes working in a fucking auto body shop in Westchester. And it made me feel like home, right? Because again, like I'm from upstate New York. Auto body shops were literally like that with people literally like that working there. And it was just so white trash. And everyone in the cast are all like, that's their group in real life. Like they're really friends. And they talked about that. So being able to do that made it so much more genuine, funny than it was. And then you also had Stavros, Andrew Scholes, etc. So no, I thought the show was great. I've watched it twice now. They already got renewed for a season 2. And and even Francis Ellis was in it, which was great. But no, I thought Tires was great. If you haven't watched it and you just want literally dumbass humor that's like funny, I highly recommend going to watch it because it's literally 6 episodes of like 30 minutes an episode. And again, everyone has like different reasons that might attract them to something like that. Me, where I grew up, it was like white trash funny. That's the type of shit that like I'm so used to when it comes to certain shit. And I've said it before when it comes to his stand-up and even more now with his show, Shane Gillis just exudes white trash funny. And this show was exactly that. So it was everything I wanted it to be. I'm hyped that there's going to be another season. Netflix / Shane Gillis / McKeever / whoever. I don't give a fuck if it's extra number 2 that comes in and asks for an oil change and gets kicked out. I don't care. I want to be on Tires season 2. So I'm going to manifest that. I don't know who I got to get in contact with. That show was like, I lived and breathed that lifestyle for 22 years. I want to be in it. Yeah, 6'3", 240. Huh? You like that? But no, I thought it was such a great show. It made me excited that not to like put it out there too early, but Shane Gillis is definitely a possible front runner for being, I won't say the next, but being a different version of Adam Sandler. Because what Adam Sandler did was absurd. From like having a successful early comedy career to then creating Happy Madison, his own production company, to then creating these absolutely fucking blockbuster movies. Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, Big Daddy, fucking Grown Ups, etc. And just being like, yeah, I'm just going to put my best friends in it. That's just what's going to happen. We're all going to work. Like, it's going to be hard to, like, touch that Adam Sandler vibe, because not only did Adam Sandler, like, create a production company, made these movies for his friends and him to star in. The movies are fucking iconic and are huge. Like, those were just to name a few. So, like, Adam Sandler's in a league of his own, but I do think Shane Gillis is possibly able to go at a trajectory like that, where if Tires keeps on the same, if they're able to get 3, 4, 5 seasons out of it and it's successful, people start loving individual characters, and then Shane is able to be like, all right, now we're going to produce a dumb fucking movie. Like, and I say dumb in the most complimentary way ever, because, like, dumb movies are great. So no, I definitely think Shane can possibly be that. And someone was doing a podcast with Part of My Take, and they were saying at the after party of their showing of the show, there was, like, you could hear people talking and being like, yeah, Shane changed my fucking life. Like, he is the one who, like, started the wheels turn and made all this happen. So I thought it was sick. Shane goes for the fucking boys. He's for the boys. He's a Northeastern treasure. So no, I thought the show was great. I loved it, and I cannot wait for season 2. So I thought that was fire. Also in the comedy world, in a way, Cenet just did a stream with Kevin Hart, and it was so good. It truthfully was so good, because they just sat there for like 4 or 5 hours just fucking around. Quite literally, that's what it was. Like, it was of them doing a blind feel test, Kai showing Kev clips of him getting rejected by Tyla, their cipher, all this type of shit, Kev and Kai dancing, Kevin giving him an acting lesson, them getting each other gifts, FaceTiming people. Like, it was actually such a good stream. Now, I like Kai Cenet and I love Kevin Hart, so, like, I didn't think it would be a bad stream, but it was so fucking awesome, because, again, I mean, you never think that someone to Kevin's stature is going to go sit there and stream. I think this birthed something that, and I don't know if they're thinking about it, but I think this birthed something that they didn't think would happen, because those two are such a good duo. And in what capacity could they be duos in the future? I have no clue. Like, I really don't. Like, I don't know if Kai would ever want to go into acting, but, like, it was legitimately like watching, like, father and son, or just, like, old dude who's friends with fucking young moron. Like, it truthfully was like that, because they're just so alike to me in certain ways, of just, like, just their mannerisms, like the type of shit they'll joke about, like, but they're so different too, which when Kai was trying to explain to him how streaming worked and what all this shit was, and he was being Kai and just like, OBS, and Kevin was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, slow down. You sound like you're having a stroke. Shit like that. So I thought it was sick. And then the next one that I don't know if it'll happen, but Kai tweeted, if this post gets 300,000 likes, we'll do a sleepover stream with Kevin, Kai, and Drewski. That one will be insane. That one will be insane. I think that one will be so fucking funny. Just because, again, like, Drewski's hilarious. Kev is Kevin Hart. And then Kai is Kai. So, like, I just think the type of shit they'll come up with, games they'll play, reacting, and just their personalities together is so fucking perfect. Like, even Drewski was on Kai's jail stream, which was great. So I thought that was sick. I do think people in Kevin Hart's camp have to be like, oh, like, damn. Not that they didn't think it would go good, but, like, they have to probably be sitting there like, holy shit, like, this went way better than we thought it would. And maybe Kevin Hart hopefully is sitting there thinking the same thing. And also, because I had this debate all the time with people, after watching that stream too, it just made me more confident in my take of just, like, that Kevin Hart is one of the funnier people that has ever lived, 100%. Just because the areas in which he's able to be funny are just unmatched. From, like, and I'm not sitting here saying every single movie he's came out with is funny. Not saying that. But just, like, his stand-up, the movies that he's funny in, him fucking hosting roasts, fucking interviews he gives on whether it's Jimmy Fallon, Kimmel, whatever it may be. And he was just so effortlessly funny on Kai's stream of just being him. I thought it was great. Like, even when they're sitting there, you know, comparing their height, because they're literally the same height. Or Kev watching Kai get rejected by Tyla and just, like, mocking him for it. Like, it was just so effortlessly. Like, I was sitting there with the biggest smile on my face where I'm like, these dudes fucking rock. And dudes just, like, Kai's stream is sometimes, depending on what the stream is literally just like a dude's rock moment to me. Like, it was just these two dudes chilling in their room doing bullshit. Like, that's literally what it was. So I thought it was sick. I'm hoping to see more, not too much because you don't want it to get watered down, but more Kevin Hart, Kai Cenet content. But I'm hoping that sleepover stream really does happen because, you know, that would just be, that I know that would be great content. What was I going to say? Oh, another thing in that video world is, so obviously everyone heard Harrison Butner, whatever the fuck his name is, the kicker for the Chiefs, commencement speech and just the whole fucking mess that was. It's so funny hearing everybody's on his team's differing views on that, specifically knowing now. Not that I think his opinion would change, because Travis Kelce's always seemed like a pretty chill dude that, like, wouldn't really vibe with that. But now that the light he's in, having to, like, work it differently, where do I think if he wasn't with Taylor, would he have been like, yeah, Harrison? No, because again, he's always seemed like a pretty, like, chill, normal dude. But hearing the way of him have to work it out, like, no, I didn't really, like, agree with any of it, but I do know that, you know, he loves his family and stuff like that. It was so funny because, like, it must be crazy for Travis Kelce now to think, like, okay, like, I can still, like, have the same views or, like, go about the shit the same way, but it might have to be worked a little differently because you're in a relationship and in love with the most famous woman in the world, arguably the most famous person in the world right now. Like, it's crazy. So it's just funny to see them teeter the line of that, because he was on New Heights. They were doing their podcast, and Jason Kelce was like, yeah, like, my wife didn't particularly like it. You know, she was kind of a little offended by it, but I just told her to go in there and make me a sandwich. And it was just like, that was such a funny play off of it. You could tell Travis was like, fuck, like, he knew it was funny, but a little of him was probably like, shit, I hope this doesn't get, like, misconstrued by the Swifties. Like, which I don't think it would, because the Swifties definitely seem to have accepted Travis Kelce at this point. But it's just funny knowing that, like, you know, Travis Kelce definitely does have to be a little more, you know, conscious of, like, what is coming out of his mouth at any certain time. Because you're not just Travis Kelce right now. You're Travis Kelce who's dating Taylor Swift. And I do think it's going well. I do think he's doing a good job. And I'm a big Kelce guy, so I'm hoping it can continue that way. I'm trying to think. Emma and I were talking about it in the car today, just because her song Espresso came on. Me, espresso. It's crazy sometimes when you see two celebrities who also knew each other and were friends, like, early on, now being two juggernauts in their industry. And what I mean by that is Olivia Rodrigo and Sabrina Carpenter. The first time I ever heard of either of them was when they were beefing over a boy, and Olivia came out with Driver's License. Now, that shot Olivia the fuck into the stratosphere and made her Olivia Rodrigo, who she is, like, Grammy Award winner, selling out world tours, all that type of shit. And then that left me to be like, ooh, like, that's Sabrina, like, at the time, like, oh, that Sabrina girl, like, I feel bad for her. Like, you know, you guys had a good thing going. This ruined it, whatever. Hold up. Sabrina Carpenter is fucking huge now, too. First off, being an opener for Taylor Swift is ridiculous. Second off, like, her music is actually going crazy, and it's really good music. And then we checked it today. Sabrina Carpenter has more Spotify monthly listeners than Olivia Rodrigo. That's crazy, because, like, Olivia Rodrigo is huge. Like, her first year making music, she won, what, 3 Grammys? Like, it's insane. Selling out world tours, number one songs, number one albums. Like, Olivia Rodrigo isn't just like some new art. She's gigantic. So like, to have Sabrina also be at the beginning of that beef and kind of thought of as like the other one, to now be Sabrina fucking Carpenter is crazy. Now, there is the conspiracies that Emma's told me about too, that like all of that beef was planned, which whoever did decide to come up with that plan definitely needs a hefty check and, you know, an article written about them, because they are genius. Because like, the fact that these two girls were beefing over this boy, this girl writes a song about it, shoots her into the fucking stratosphere, and then the other girl kind of like doesn't go down, but just like isn't talked about as much, and now she's being shot into the stratosphere too, is insane to me. Like, that's like the star of Sabrina Carpenter is crazy to me right now, and I love to see it because like her vibe is sick. Like, and obviously she's dating Barry Keoghan right now, or Keegan, however the fuck you want to say it. So she's really in that life now, but it's just crazy to see like where they started to where they are now. Like, both in their own right, huge stars with tens of millions of monthly listeners and albums sold and all this type of shit. So it really has been crazy to witness. And I definitely do think, I mean, unless they've really been friends this entire time behind the scenes, if not, they're going to publicly make up at some point, because they're both so huge at this point. And like, who gives a fuck about Joshua Bassett at this point and in the whole beef of it? Like, they're huge. So I kind of think that's sick, and it's just cool to kind of see that, like, you know, go down. And it got me thinking too that like certain people that like how their rise to fame and certain people being famous, like, I legitimately think, I don't know if it's the parents doing or not, but there's certain people that the second they are born and named, there's nothing that you could do other than being famous at all. Like, when you look at a name like Dua Lipa, Zendaya, Leonardo DiCaprio, like, there's certain people that I feel like your parents named you because, okay, like, you're going to be famous. Not like, oh, you could be, or you're going to be famous. We gave you a famous person's name. Because imagine you were going to, you know, some financial firm, or you have some big meeting, and, you know, it shows like Dua Lipa is inviting you to a Google meeting. Email from Zendaya. Hope this message finds you well. Go to your accountant. Hey, Leonardo DiCaprio, how are the books looking? No. There had to have been something where my future kid is going to have an absurd name. Absolutely. Because there's no way that, like, your parents are naming you some shit without, like, the hope of, like, no, this is a famous person's name. This is absolutely a famous. There's no way I'm naming this person, like, this to, like, have them not be famous. Like, I feel like that's just like not how that works at all, like, in my mind. So I thought that was funny, because I was just going down, and there's obviously a way bigger list of people of like Beyonce. Imagine going to, I don't know, fucking some big law firm, and your lawyer, hi, I'm Beyonce. Huh? You should be on stage. You should be headlining world tours. Not, like, what? It gets crazy to me that certain people's names are, like, what they are. Because there's, for sure, whether it was the universe, your parents, whatever, you were named that because you're absolutely going to be famous. So that was my take on it, honestly. Or, I mean, shit. Like, going back on it to one of my topics that I wanted to talk about. Northwest. Now, don't get me wrong. Northwest was going to be famous regardless, because, like, Stormy Webster, like, because obviously of, like, who their families are, I get that. But my point on that is Northwest seemingly is already performing at the Hollywood Bowl. Huh? Like, because when we were at the Caitlin Clark Cameron Brink game, I thought in my mind, I was like, oh, Kim Kardashian's definitely popping out to this, because, like, she already went to go watch Cameron Brink play and bring her kids because they were fans. And I was like, I mean, this one's in LA. It's definitely the biggest game of the season for the Sparks. They're playing fucking Caitlin Clark in the Fever. So I was like, we're definitely going to see Kim there. And didn't see Kim, so I'm like, And then I found out why, because Emma saw it on either her story, Twitter, whatever, that Northwest was just casually performing in The Lion King at the Hollywood Bowl. That's crazy. Like, already there, and it's funny because when you watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians or shit like that, everyone already knew, like, when you saw North, you're like, oh, she's definitely going to be, like, the famous one. Now, all of the kids might be, or maybe it might be, like, North and Stormy and fucking Penelope. Who knows? But North was always the one where you're like, oh, yeah, this one's definitely going to be, like, she's going to try to follow in Kim's footsteps and just be super famous. And clearly it's already working out because I don't know how old you are, but like performing at the Hollywood Bowl in The Lion King is crazy. So, and that's just another famous ass name right there. So that's my opinion on that one. I'm trying to think really. Oh, fucking some more shit is that on top of Prime and WWE, I think something Logan Paul is really good at is going at people and debunking the shit out of them. Because from a brand standpoint and working with a brand, you know, when something's going on, you always like want to figure out the right way to address it. How do you do it? Do you skid around it? Do you not say anything? Whatever it may be. Over the last couple months, there was a couple TikToks, one from some like fitness guy, another from like a lawyer and whatnot, being like, Prime is not good for you because of this, and this. Logan Paul has addressed each one of them individually on TikTok with crazy receipts and actual like facts about his brand and shit like that just quite literally had the people who made the original video apologizing to him. And the comments are all like, oh, Logan 8. Fuck yeah, Logan 8. Like, this is crazy. And he's just been, I mean, I know he is Prime, so of course he's going to back the brand, but just like he's been going directly at people, which is crazy. And then he did the same thing with George during the impulsive like shit that just happened last week. Newest one is Ryan Garcia, where Ryan Garcia obviously has lost his fucking mind, and he has for a little while, but Logan probably just got sick and tired of it at this point because Ryan went on like a posting spree basically and just like whatnot. So Prime is now suing Ryan Garcia. And what did Logan do again? Made a TikTok, which is all the shit that Ryan's lied about, weaponizing Christianity, lying about so much shit, being a weird dude himself, like all this type of shit. And what can you say to that? Like when I'm saying you're weird, like fuck you because of this, and this, and then that person debunks this, and this, and gives facts about myself, truthfully, what am I to say about it other than double down and keep lying? Like, there's nothing you can do in that moment at all. Like, you just have to. Ryan Garcia will never take the L because he's a fucking moron. But like, what can you do in that moment? So Logan Paul has definitely found his way of like, okay, this is how I'm going to get people on my side for certain shit. Because, you know, at first I wanted to leave it alone because that's a big thing in this world. Like, just like leave it alone. But he was like, you know what? No, I'm going to go at him. I don't care anymore. And it's clearly been working. And I'm someone who enjoys Prime. I like Prime. I'm a big fan of the Prime energy drink. So, you know, that's all more reason for me to go buy more Prime. So shout out Logan Paul. Shout out Prime. And yeah, because like a lot of the shit they were talking about was, or at least Ryan is talking about, is conspiracies and stuff. And it's funny because I just had this talk last night with a couple of our friends that it's so crazy to me now how like, and why it's tough to even ever debate or get into like conspiracies with certain people. Because don't get me wrong, not a single person in this world does not at least have some conspiracy to them that they believe in, whether it's megalodons still exist, or what's in the ocean, or we didn't really land on the moon, or 9/11, whatever it may be. But everyone's got one. And it really made me think because a couple of my friends were talking about conspiracies and stuff like that. And it's crazy to me about like, all you got to do is have a couple things that might actually technically be true. Let's say it's like the whole conspiracy arc is 10 items. If 3 of those items are true and like actual fact, boom, it sold you. You don't need the other 7. You don't even need half. Like, oh, those are true. So like, I'm going to because those three are true, I'm going to come up with my reasons of why the other are for sure true. And like what I was saying was like, because it was a good example, was like Bohemian Grove. You know, the place in Northern California with the big owl statue where the elite meet to sacrifice humans to then keep being elite, basically. The only issue with that is that Bohemian Grove is a real place. The owl statue is real. Elite people, or of the elite, have actually had meetings there before. So, like, once all those three become true, every Tom, Dick, and Harry is then going to be like, well, how can you tell me I'm wrong? Those three are true. It's like, I'm not saying that, like, that's not some weird shit. Why do they do that? It's fucking odd. But they're not out here sacrificing humans, like, in my opinion. But it's crazy because, like, I saw something on Twitter the other day where it was like, yeah, you could be arguing with someone, and I don't even understand when people would be like, well, jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams. Did you forget a whole fucking plane crashed into a building? Is that just something that people fucking forgot? Like, and it's just crazy to me where I'll hear certain people tell me, especially being in Hollywood, like, tell me certain conspiracies, and I literally just have to sit there and go, oh my God. Oh, you're so stupid. Oh, you're so fucking stupid. Because, like, you're giving me one thing that might be true. Like, oh, this guy, like, does this. So, like, in reality, he owns everything. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. Like, don't get me wrong. Is there shady shit going on up there? Of course. Of course there is. There always has been. There always will be. But some of these fucking conspiracies are just crazy to me, to where it's like, it's tough to even dive into it. Because it's like, you are going to lose every time. Like, I was in the midst of, like, wanting to write, like, stand-up material for the one day that I stop being a pussy and actually want to step on stage somewhere and, like, do an open mic night. But one of the parts of my material is how I actually envy people who are delusional. Like, actually delusional, because it seems like they live such a good life because they can never be proven wrong. What they know is true is fact. And then they just go about their life that way. Like, it's like QAnon people. Truthfully, they are some of the craziest people in the world. Inside their own minds, other than constant paranoia, they're probably pretty peaceful because no one can tell them anything. Like, they're never wrong to themselves. Like, they don't give a fuck what you have to say. They do not care about fact. They don't give a shit about any of that. So I do think it's pretty admiring to be able to see someone so delusional live their life. I think that's hilarious. So that was just like my little spiel on conspiracies. And you know what? I'm going to be delusional myself a little bit. I'm going to tell myself that there's no way this podcast can work out. It will. And we're only on episode 38, so it for sure can work out. And again, I'm just one dude sitting here spewing some bullshit. Maybe that's really boring for some people. Probably, but it's going to get more fun. I'm telling you, once I can actually get consistent guests in here / maybe get a co-host, which might be coming soon. Not sure. And kind of just keep doing what I'm doing because I fucking love every second of this. I have from the start of it. We're 38 episodes deep. Don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So, you know, I'm just enjoying my Saturday sitting here in the studio and getting this shit done. But I appreciate whoever does tune in to this. And it was a really good episode 38. And honestly, until next time, subscribe, hit the like button, follow, but do it though. But honestly, I appreciate it. And until next time, peace.